It is well known that he admires dictators. A dangerous plan called Project 2025.
Hello Homo sapiens, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be talking about the presidential debate between Trump and Kamala Harris. The second presidential debate after Biden catastrophically failed in the last debate. He literally fell asleep on stage, didn't know what he was saying, he was rambling. Trump won that debate. But this debate is not the same. Trump didn't really exactly win. No side won, you know, it was kind of neutral. The polls haven't really been affected that much by the debate. Kamala is like slightly up by 1 or 2, but it's not a drastic change that's going to change the outcome of the election. At least that's what I think. So first I want to just introduce this basic concept to you. So the moderators would ask Trump a basic question. They'd be like, Trump, how will you fix this issue? Trump, what do you think about this, right? And then Trump would give his response, he'd ramble, he'd say something. And then the debate team would be like, Trump, you actually just lied. That's a lie, Trump, right? And then Trump would, respond. He'd be like, no, I didn't lie. That was the truth. I didn't lie. And then they'd ask Kamala, they'd say, Kamala, what do you think about what Trump just said? And then Kamala would talk about how Trump is a liar and a criminal and Project 2025. That's kind of the whole debate. That's the basic summary. Kamala would every 5 seconds basically talk about Trump lying or Trump being Project 2025. Trump's related to Project 2025. Horrible thing to say because Project 2025 is not even related to Trump. Trump's official plan if he wins office is Agenda 47, which can be found on his website. And Agenda 47 is a lot more tame than Project 2025. Project 2025 is really radical. It suggests things that Trump himself would not support. It suggests ideas that aren't even conservative. They're more like far right. They're farther on the spectrum. They go farther to the right. So it's not really even related to Trump. Here's the horrible moments I want to talk about. For instance, Trump talked about the eating the cats and the dogs, which I think is a realistic claim. There has been a bit of evidence that's been found online of this actually happening, but it's not a big enough circle of evidence that can prove the claim. This is just a claim. It's like a theory. There's nothing really substantiated about it. And then the moderators said they contacted the city council or whatever.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I just want to clarify here. You bring up Springfield, Ohio, and ABC News did reach out to the city manager there. He told us there have been no credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals.
Which is a lie. They might have contacted them, but what the city council said is not true because there are instances that can be found online of people actually eating the cats and the dogs, right? Videos that people see and, recordings. Chaos that's ensued in Springfield, Ohio. So that's the first thing. But I do think it was a bad idea for Trump to talk about. I think it's a horrible thing for Trump to campaign on. I've seen Trump and JD Vance campaign on this. They've been trying to turn this into something that they can use as a talking point for the border wall. But it's not really the best talking point because the media is now spinning this into Trump being racist to Haitians or Trump hates Haitians or whatever. People are now saying that the migrants are actually illegal. They're not illegal. So that's the problem, I think. I think it's a realistic claim, but it's not something Trump should have campaigned on. It's not something he should have mentioned in the debate. This was not Trump's ideal performance. There are better performances that Trump has had. He did amazing in the first debate. He even smoked Hillary Clinton back in those old debates in 2016. But this debate was different because Trump got easily angered. His demeanor changed throughout the debate. He got really angry after Kamala started lying about his rallies and the moderators started to fact check him for no reason. He got really aggravated, he got angry, and that changed, his overall performance, right? It made him look horrible. Kamala clearly had some lines at least memorized. She was preparing a few days in advance. There's no record of Trump preparing for the debate, so that's also another explanation. Trump just went into it, thinking he'd easily win, thinking he could just smoke her, but he didn't factor in that she's going to prepare for this. This is her big moment to prove to voters that she could actually be a decent president, because for the longest time she hasn't even done a live interview. She just did her first solo interview, so this this is, an example. This was her chance, her big moment to show the voters that she actually can articulate a sentence. And you can kind of see this because in her most recent interview, her first solo interview, her performance is a lot worse than what was in the debate.
It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself. And it is absolutely well known that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors.
And making life more affordable for people. Yeah. What are one or two specific things you have in mind?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this.
Specific things you have in mind.
I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn. And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
So you can kind of see a graph, right? Her performance just slowly going down, If she memorizes the lines, her performance is really good. If she doesn't, if she just rambles, she makes up stuff, and that's when she has a horrible performance, when she's not scripted. Trump's performance was not great. Kamala's performance was good enough to make her campaign solid. She now has an actual thing to campaign on. She proved herself that she could actually say a coherent sentence for once, because we've just had clips and clips of her just rambling or saying random things. Even now, there's even more of them now.
When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population.
But because of the debate, she was able to actually prove that she knows what she's saying. Even though she rehearsed it and she had it all memorized, that it was all scripted, she at least could say something. So that's kind of something good for her team.